Okay, as you see, I have started a new project. This is going to be a queen size quilt. Now, when I started it, I measured the center piece to see what it was, and it's a 50 by 70. So I cut it down to 50 by 65 because I didn't want it as big on the long end. And then I added this border and this border, which this one's 2.5, and this one's 3.5. These are 6-inch patches that I have sewn together. When I decided how big I wanted them, I measured my quilt this way to see how many 6-inch patches I would need. So it came out to be 11, but I cut them 6.5 inches to leave for a seam allowance. So it worked out pretty well. I took in a little bit more seam allowance in the centers because I sewed them from the outside in, because I wasn't sure if I was going to have to adjust the center patch a little bit. But this material is stretchy, so it gives a little bit. So I have a little bit of leeway when it comes to sewing it on to the rest of the quilt. It'll stretch a little bit so it's not so tight, and it'll give me a little bit more room. If I feel like it's going to be too long, I'll just take in the seam allowance a little bit in the patches if I have to. So I don't have these side patches done yet. I don't know, you can't see them, I guess. I don't have the side patches pieced together yet. These ones are done. I have half of the border up to top sewn together over there. The other half is on my sewing area. And what I'm going to do with this quilt, I might add another maybe 2-inch or 1-inch border on the outside. Probably a 2-inch. So it'll either be pale blue or it'll be the dark blue. I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to knot the center, and I'm going to quilt, stitch in a ditch in these, and I'll probably quilt around each of the Olafs, and I may quilt around each of the princesses, like maybe just the blonde princess. I can't remember her name. Anna is the other one. She has the reddish hair. But Anna, maybe? Anna and Anna. I need to ask my granddaughters what their names are. And then I'm going to put a design in these plain patches. I might put a design in this too and quilt it, if I have one that'll fit. But I'm going to find a design. I think I have a snowflake that I can put in this, a snowflake design that'll fit in this one. So that's what I'm going to do in the plain block. And then this block, I'll either leave it alone because it's a puffy little design on its own, or I might, put straight lines in it, like diagonally, which would look nice because I can just follow the diagonal dots. And I'll go between the dots, not on them. So this dotted material also has a direction. Like you wouldn't think it would have a definite direction, but I have them all facing in. Like these look like little raindrops, and so they have a little point at the bottom so that the point is all going in towards the quilt, so that the shading is all going to look the same. Because if I turn it around, the shading is different. Can you see it? So I want the shading to all go the same way. So I have them all pointing in. So when you're working with this kind of a material, you want to make sure, if that's going to bother you, that you have the shading all go in the same direction. I have made quilts where I didn't make the shading go the same direction, and it was fine. But on this quilt, I think it looks, I noticed it more, so I'm going to have them all go in the same direction. Also, what I was going to tell you was I did buy a backing that resembles this color. Let me get it. It's not exact. I saw it and I thought that would make a decent backing. It's not as dark of a purple as I thought it was going to be, but it has the pink and purples in it, so it looks similar to these little octagons here. So I think I might use it, and it has blue in it. I might use it as a back. It is a little bit busy, but it's the backing. So that's what I thought I would use for the backing on it. If not, I might just get a plain blue, because I have this flannel, and it's a plain flannel blue. And it does match blues in the quilt. So I might just do that. I tried to get a purple to match it, but I couldn't find a nice purple that I liked. So I'm going to think about that. I just wanted to show you what I was working on, and explain it a little bit. And so I wanted to show you also these patches. So when you're sewing them on, you want to make sure you have your direction of your bubble material all going in the same way. And I do pin them because this material stretches so much. I mean, I do try to pin them regardless, but it'll stretch, so it's sometimes hard to get it to, I even don't know if I have that straight. If you have a little bit sticking out, which this one, when you press it down, the bubbles will flatten out a little bit. So sometimes I do trim a little bit of it off. You know, I'll put the ruler up against it and trim off the uneven edges, because right up here this is a little bit uneven. So after I get them all put together, I'll just take the ruler along them and trim off what excess there is. These are a little tricky to work with because the bubble material stretches and then the bubbles stick up. So you have to really kind of work at it to adjust it to get it even. And then if you have your blue matching up with this blue, it's, you know, should be okay to hold it. So I'm going to take it to my machine and stitch 1/4 of an inch, and then I will show you how it evens up. All right, I'm going to quit right here. My phone is ringing, and I will make a new video. Thanks. Bye.